Hey kids, thanks for coming back to the fork drop. Today we are making pork baby back ribs. I really appreciate the feedback and suggestions for my last couple of videos. I got some good suggestions, a couple of them. One was, hey, tighter on the food, less of your face. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna flip the camera, get tight on the food. You can watch the whole thing. I know you're here for the meal and not the dessert, so we'll focus on the food. Great. Other one was relax, have a good time. So I put in these really fun party lights back here, and we're gonna make it a party in the kitchen. But let's get to the ribs. What I really love about this recipe is that the whole thing can take as little as 30, 35 minutes. If you just have a pre-mixed rub, get it in the cooker and pull it out and sauce it, or it can take a little bit longer. I'll show you at the end. We're gonna glaze it with some sauce, put it in the broiler, give it a nice crust when it's over. But either way, it's about 10 to 12 steps. So let's get to it. I did the rub earlier and set it in the refrigerator overnight. Here's what that looked like yesterday. Let's get the membrane off the bone side of the ribs. We'll set it down with the membrane side facing up. Grab you a paper towel. You can go to the smallest edge of the corner away from the bone side, and you'll be able to grab an edge and just pull it slowly all the way down. You should get it off in 1 or 2 shots. A lot of people struggle with trying to do this barehanded. I use a paper towel. All right, now we got Mike's Hot Honey. I'm gonna spread that on here liberally. It's honey infused with chiles. Give that a little rub around. Smear it all over. Nice. Next we got Cattleman's Steak Smokehouse Rub. You can use any rub you like. This one's just easy, got a bunch of it. So on it goes. All right, we got the rub on. Obviously I used that pre-mixed rub. I'm gonna leave a recipe for if you wanna make your own rub in the comments area in the description. Look at that, leave me some feedback. Tell me if you think I should add something, take it away. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. It'll be fun. So I got this guy going. Next step here is get this guy going on sauté. And one thing I left off the roast beef video was go ahead and add a couple of tablespoons of oil. I use olive oil, Walmart, cheap one. I like to keep it cheap and easy. So again, the same concept. What we want to do is get the meat in there, brown it a little bit, but mainly get some of that fat and get some of the meat stuck to the bottom of the pot. And then when we get the broth in, we'll scrape that up later and it'll give it a little smoky flavor. We're cheating, trying to emulate smoked meats. So here we go. I took the whole rack, cut it up into 3 pieces, and then we're gonna start on the fatty side, each side of the ribs for just a couple of minutes. Get that going, and then these are, once these get going, we're gonna turn these over and get the meat side of it as well. So you can do 2 at once. And honestly, some people skip this step and it'll make it an even shorter prep time. All right, it's been a couple of minutes on that side. I'm gonna turn them over. See that sizzle? Be careful, it's really hot. I'm trying to show you there. Try not to burn your face. Get your, now you know your thongs are ready. Gotta give them the test clip. See, a little brown, that's okay. Turn that guy over. Ruffle here, turn this baby over. You can see like the meat, the brown on the bottom is starting to stick. That's what you want. Woo! All right, in another minute or so, that one's starting to get kind of cooked. We're not trying to cook it right now. So I'm gonna take this out. Get the little baby piece here. Grab some foil with it. Get that going. Again, not cooking it, just trying to get some meat to stick to the bowl. And with the tongs, hold it and stick the edge. Do a little edging there and get it down in the bowl. Get those just a little bit charred. Same thing for this this longer side. I just stick it down there for 10-15 seconds. Nothing too crazy, but you can see the bottom of our copper bowl is turning nice and charred. And that's what we're getting to. So now hopefully you can see we got a little smoke going. It's completely charred on the bottom. It's not stuck to it. We got some, we put oil in it this time. Next, we're gonna put the broth in there. So for the broth, last time I used a can of chicken stock. For this one, you can use chicken or beef. I prefer the beef. Again, I'm using the cheap Walmart, but I also use the unsalted. I'm getting old, gotta watch the salt, whatever. So you're gonna get more or less 2 cups of the broth going in with this. It's gonna be noisy. Not that noisy. Got your wooden spoon. We're gonna scrape up the brown and really get that smoky flavor. Watch out for the hot side of the pot. Slosh it around. Okay, I should add for that last step, sometimes I actually turn it off of saute. It gets really hot and you're kind of sloshing broth all over the place, so you don't want to do that. You can turn it off. It's still really hot, but I'm gonna turn it back on saute for a second and get that heat up, because it is a pressure cooker. We do need steam, and it condenses the timeline of the whole recipe. So next, I always get a little bit of rosemary to throw in the broth. We've already got the rub all over the meat. You can shake a little bit in the broth if you like, if you really want to amp it up a little bit. But yeah, this comes in these prepackaged organic rosemary. Just rip off a few twigs or sprigs or whatever it's called, I don't know. But yeah, it smells good. And then another step, again, we're kind of cheating to make these taste like smoked, like they've been in the smoker for 18 hours, and you can tell your friends that they were and they'll believe you. I use, again, Cheater's liquid smoke. Just 2 or 3 real small, boop, boop. Nothing crazy. And then next, we're going to put in the small little wire rack. You don't have to. I do. I like to keep it out of I like to keep the meat out of the broth while it's in the pressure cooker. I think it gets a little bit too soupy if you don't. Some people use the trivet or trivet. I don't know. Depends on if you're from Texas or France. You can use that. This one, to me, I don't use this one because sometimes the ribs are too tall and the lid doesn't close really well. So I use the shorter rack, and we'll go ahead and get these in there. I like to have the face of the meat towards the inside. Sometimes maybe I'm always afraid the side of the bowl is gonna get too hot. Oh yeah, it's already steaming, look. But yeah, I don't want the side of the bowl to continue to cook the meat. We want the pressure and the steam to cook it. So I put the membrane side towards the bowl, and then bang, bang, we're in there. Last, before we put the lid on, good old Worcestershire sauce, always a must. Kind of hit it on the meat a little bit, a couple of drops, and then a drop down in the broth, and we're golden. So the reason I leave it on saute is you can see, again, the steam's coming up. This is gonna help pressure build a lot faster. If you take it off of saute, then once you put the lid on, which is the next step, we're putting the lid on, hold it up, lock it down. Now that steam's gonna build up a lot faster, and you can see right here in your safety valve, that's gonna pop up in just a few minutes. And that'll, again, make this a much faster process. That's what it's all about. Keeping it easy, fast and easy. So in the pot, lid on, we're gonna set it to manual, high pressure for 20 minutes. It says usually 20 to 25 minutes. I'm gonna let it natural release when it's over. So I don't wanna overcook it. I think, plus I got it really brown while we were browning it. So it's already cooked quite a bit. So 25 minutes might be a little bit too long. If you don't brown it, if you skip that step, I would go 25 minutes. I'm just gonna do high pressure on the manual setting for 20 minutes. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. Pressure is completely built up inside the pot. You can see right here, the safety pressure valve is completely up. Here's your release valve. If you brush against it or touch it or move the pot, some of the pressure will release. So it's better just to not mess with it. But again, it's completely safe. If you do that, that's just pressure releasing out of it. Don't worry, Linda, it's not gonna explode. I don't recommend leaving your face over it for an extended period of time, but these things are really safe. Don't worry, but we've got about 15 minutes to kill. So in a couple of minutes, I'm gonna start preheating the oven to broil. And then if you're working on dinner, work on some sides. You can throw some asparagus in the oven or steam some vegetables on the stove. One really cool thing is, one of the reasons that I did use that short rack instead of the crevet is that there's another attachment, a steaming bowl that you can put on top of the meat. And if you want to steam some vegetables, some kale or some asparagus or both while you're cooking your ribs, then you can do that at the same time and you'll have dinner completely done in half an hour. So I'll get to that, kick on the oven, work on some sides, and maybe play some Madden. These ribs smell amazing. So we're gonna get them out, put them in a pan, and then stick them in the broiler for 4 minutes. You can let this thing naturally release, which is what I have done. You can see here, like the pressure's completely gone, Linda. Don't worry, it's not gonna explode. There's steam coming out of here. The safety valve is completely down. The pressure's completely out. That takes about 10 to 15 minutes. I like to do that because it makes the meat really, really tender, in my opinion. If you're in a hurry, the meat's still gonna be amazing. You can quick release. Quick release, if you're not used to using these, is this button right here with the picture of steam coming out is going to release steam from this valve right here. Again, you wanna get your face away from it, push the button, steam will release. I let it completely natural release. There's no more pressure in it, so you don't have to push the button. Just turn, and again, get your face away from it. Get the lid off of it, and the steam comes out. Yeah, that's all the flavor coming out. Here we go. Take it in. It's not gonna hurt you. It's delicious. All right? Pressure's completely released. Look down in there. You already see that the bones coming out. Like, look at that. It's so tender. I'm gonna get our tongs out, give it a little test run, make sure they're working. Perfect. Pull that meat out of there. We're gonna put it on our foiled pan, cookie sheet. You gotta be really careful here because I'm not kidding. It's gonna completely fall apart on you. And that's okay if it does. Get it out, put it on that pan, and then we're gonna sauce it up. Don't grab the rack. All right, here, I'm gonna help it out. Boom, didn't fall apart. Bonus. Slab number 2, bonus. Little baby slab, get it in here. On the rack, so delicious. Okay, we've got the oven completely preheated, ready to broil. We're gonna put these guys in here, look how good they look. I'm gonna sauce it first. And I got my old reliable. I love this stuff so much. It's the Sweet Baby Ray's. You see, again, I go with no sugar. If you want sugar, add it. If you're old and fat, don't eat the sugar. There's enough cholesterol and fat in these ribs already, it's gonna kill us. Let's just cut some corners where we can, you know? So we're gonna sauce this up really good. The cool thing is, you've got beef broth right there, a whole pot of it that's already spiced and herbed and rubbed with garlic and paprika and chili. You can, if you want to get creative, pour that beef broth into a bowl and then use it again later on either my beans or my rice. Look for those links down there because we're going to do that. We're going to use our pork rib, already used beef broth, and make some rice. And that's good. So we got these guys ready to go, completely sauced up. You can rub it around, whatever, get crazy with it. If you have a brush, probably want to use the brush. I don't care. I love Sweet Baby Ray's. Now I'm gonna put it in the broiler, 4 minutes, no more. 4 minutes. You want it crust, you want it glaze, you don't want it burned. 4 minutes. All right, these are done. 4 minutes in the broil. Look at those guys, all crusted up. Smells so good. I absolutely do not condone domestic violence. I would never slap my mother, but this is as close as I get right here. These are wonderful. Smells so good, so done. Watch this, not even kidding. Ready? Bone out. There's so many things you can do with this. You can just take a slab of it, throw it on a plate. But what I'm gonna do today, I grab me a pack of King's Hawaiian rolls. I'm gonna open up a couple of those, throw it in there, toast it a little bit, pull these bones right out, shred it. Oh God, that's amazing, look at that. Bone out. And then just shred your meat right off of that with your hand. You can do it with a fork, but I'm getting in it. Slap a little meat on there. 1 pickle, sandwich, done. A little more sauce on there. That's good. Definitely. Fork, drop. These go really well with asparagus, Brussels sprouts, and my mashed potatoes. I'm gonna do all 3 of those. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what I did well. Tell me what I did not so well. Tell me to stop putting my face on the video. Tell me to lose 15 pounds. I need the motivation. Meanwhile, I'm gonna enjoy this sandwich. But subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. Let's have fun, let's cook.